Good. The time is 7 p.m. and I call this regularly scheduled meeting of the Red Oak City Council to order. Let it be known that we have all council members present, all our dignitary, directors of staff and city manager, attorney and secretary and deputy manager. We're here to conduct business for the city of Red Oak, and pursuant to Texas Government Code Section 551, notice had been duly posted, and I think we are able to declare a quorum and proceed with what we need to do. So Councilman Miller, are you able to lead us in the invocations and the pledges?
Yes, sir. Let us pray. Heavenly Father, giver of wisdom and strength, we gather here tonight seeking your guidance for the work before us. Bless our mayor, city council members, staff, and all who labor for the public trust. Help us to listen carefully, weigh facts honestly, and set aside personal interests for the welfare of the whole community. Protect our city, bless our neighborhoods, schools, and first responders and businesses. Inspire solutions for challenges and give us courage to act with integrity. May our work build unity, respect, and flourishing for all who call Red Oak home. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one indivisible.
Thank you, Councilman Miller. I'll let you do that every time. That was nice. Good evening, everyone. We're glad you're here to join us. First part of our meeting is some proclamations. And so we've got a couple four to do. First, I'd like Greg, if you can come out from the booth back there. We'll do that one first. So our IT department is a strong department with the count of 2. But they keep our city running quite nicely. And September 16th is considered National IT Professional Day. And I'd like to proclaim that National IT Professionals Day in the city of Red Oak, Texas, and encourage everyone to take time to celebrate and recognize the technical experts that ensure our digital infrastructure runs smoothly. And so we thank you for what you do. You get pulled in all different directions, and it may be a small, mundane little thing or a giant problem, but y'all are Johnny on the spot and get it taken care of. And we'd like to thank you very much for that. Okay, we'll do them. Okay. All right. And what this great nation is founded on, our Constitution. And we actually have a wonderful representative here. And this is Sandra Conley, and she has been here multiple years. And thank you very much. And so I'm going to read this more specifically because the Constitution of the United States of America, the guardian of our liberties, embodies the principles of limited government in a republic dedicated by the rule of law. And on It's September 17th, 2025, and the week following, we celebrate the 238th anniversary of the drafting of the Constitution of the United States by the Constitutional Convention. The celebration of the Constitution was started by the Daughters of America Revolution, which you're a member of. And in 1955, the DAR petitioned Congress to set aside this week annually to be dedicated in the observation of Constitution Week. And it's by the virtue that's vested in me as mayor of the city of Red Oak, in behalf of the city council and the citizens of Red Oak, I do hereby proclaim the week September 17th through the 23rd as Constitution Week. And I ask the citizens to reaffirm the ideals of the farmers of the Constitution, framers of the Constitution, farmers too, I guess, at that time, by vigilantly protecting freedoms guaranteed to us through this guardian of our liberties. So thank you very, very much for being here. Would you like to say anything more?
Well, if you
Please.
don't mind. We have, starting this summer in 2025, the beginning of the celebration of our 250th anniversary of the beginning of the formation of the Declaration of Independence. Once those people signed that declaration, they signed a warrant for their death. I think we all should take time to remember the importance of what our founding fathers gave us, blessed us with, that we can continue forward and continue with our children to appreciate this great nation. Thank you very much.
We'll get a photo here a little bit. Chief Bland. All right, so preparedness starts at home. This is National Preparedness Month, 2025. The occurs annually in September since 9/11 and creates the ideal opportunity for every resident to join citizens across the United States in preparing their homes, businesses, and communities for any type of emergency, including natural, technological, and human caused. The FEMA announced the 2025 program, National Preparedness Month theme of Preparedness Starts at Home, while resources and information shared on emergency preparedness can be used by anyone at any time. This year campaign focuses on engaging your family and your home to be ready for emergencies like home fires, power outages, local floods. And so by proclamation, we are able to proclaim September as National Preparedness Month in the city of Red Oak. And I hope that everybody take heed and prepare yourselves for anything that might come. And Chief, would you be more eloquent and pass on some information?
Sure. We just want to encourage everyone, whether it's a flood, just have those plans in place to where your emergency contact numbers, bank account information, whether it's a flood or tornado or fire, life insurance policies, all those types of important items, have them, readily accessible, especially with, today, with a lot of things we can stick on the cloud. So, used to everything is paper, and we try to protect that in a safe or whatever. There's other means of that, but have that preparedness, and have your flashlights and your survival kits and first aid kits if it's a fire or a flood or a wildfire or anything of those nature. And as it's, as we starting to turn cooler, not quite real cool yet, but it will be in the next few months. Have those warm items in your vehicles in case you have a breakdown or get stuck out on the road or whatever, to be able to stay warm until help can arrive at your location.
Sir, very much.
Thank you.
And then lastly, September 15th through October 15th is National Hispanic Heritage Month. And I'll briefly synopsis. The Latino presence in America spans centuries, predating Spain's colonization of what is now part of the United States, and they have been an integral part of shaping our nation since the Revolutionary War. So with the powers vested in me as mayor, I hereby proclaim the week of September 15th through October 15th as National Hispanic Heritage Month. So I don't know if we have any members of society that are here with that, but you want to come up and receive this? We'd love for you to. Come on up. Mark Stanfield. Thank you. You are? Xavier. So why don't you say something? I'll put you on the spot. Just
Hello.
Hello, that's great.
Thank you for the acknowledgement.
Sure, yeah, you bet. No problem.
Appreciate it.
All right. So if we can all get pictures back there, we'll do that, and then we'll move on to the rest of our meeting. Still good? Okay. All right, so now's the time in our meeting when we can have public comments. Comments can be addressed to council. You can say anything you want to speak about. We are unable to give feedback unless it's on an item that's actually on the agenda, so please be aware of that. You are limited to 3 minutes. If you'll stand up, give us your name and your address for the record, and we'll listen to what we have. And I know we have one that signed up, but that's for item 18. So you're welcome to do it now, or you can do it and that's Tyler Moore. You're at item 18. Okay, great. Is there anybody here that wishes to speak in public forum? Okay, we'll make sure you get a piece of paper to fill out.
It's a public hearing.
It's a public hearing, so you don't have to fill one out, but just when I call for that public hearing, then we'll get you up there. Okay, you still have to fill one out, like I don't know what I'm doing. After 8 years, you'd think I'd figure this out, but I don't. So I don't see anybody else jumping to come talk to us, so we will move on to consent agenda. Consent agenda are items that are considered routine in nature, can be acted upon in one motion. Council's been briefed on them for reoccurring events or things that we've talked about in the past. We are able to pull any of those items, and we're talking about items 1 through 13 out and consider separately. Council, is there any item that you wish to have pulled, need further clarification on?
No items.
There's no item.
None for me. None for me.
And you're good too? Okay. All right, so I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, so that is Miller and then Lightfoot. Those in favor?
Franklin, I.
Minor eye.
Miller, I.
Lightfoot eye. Smith eye.
That passes 5-0. Item 14 is consider adoption of resolution number 25-067R, the city council or city of Red Oak, Texas, designating an official and alternate newspaper for the city of Red Oak. Mr. Fuller, you want to kind of give us that brief?
So
Or do you-
Karen's
Karen,
done
you
all
want
the
to-
research, just
Okay.
the summary of it though is the most cost effective is still the Waxahachie Sun. And we want to move forward with retaining them as the official newspaper, but then also with the Dallas Morning News as the alternate secondary newspaper, because they do have at least a daily publishing schedule where we run into problems with weeklies.
Okay.
So it's same people we have right now, and we would recommend we proceed the same way.
Okay. So entertain that motion to adopt that resolution. That's how it's written in there.
Yes.
Okay. Enter,
Primary is Waxahachie Sun, alternate is Dallas Morning News.
So moved.
Second.
okay. Franklin. Smith. Those in favor?
Franklin, I.
Minor eye.
Miller, I.
Lightfoot eye. Smith eye.
That passes 5-0. Item 15, consider adoption. Excuse me, consider adoption of resolution number 25-068R, the city council, city of Red Oak, Texas, authorizing the city manager to enter into the ballot for voting to accept or reject the 13th amended joint chapter 11 plan of reorganization of the Purdue Pharma LP and its affiliated debtors, and authorizing the submission of an e-ballot to accept or reject the 13th amended joint chapter 11 plan of reorganization of Purdue Pharma LP and its affiliated debtors, and providing an effective date. Mr. Hager.
Thank you. Mayor and council, this is a matter which is a result of the opioid crisis that we've had in this country. There was a class action suit that was brought against pharma and several other pharmacies and manufacturer of pharmaceuticals. Purdue Pharma made OxyContin. As part of the resolution of that class action, a settlement was entered into whereby Purdue Pharma would be paying billions of dollars, and the cities that have had to basically administer criminal justice in their communities, as well as clinics that have had to tend to the needs of people that were addicted to opioids. Each city in the United States would receive a settlement. That settlement amount was not significant for us, but it was approximately about $40,000. The caveat to that money has to be spent for drug education or drug-related programs by the police department and by the city. After that resolution of that, city was to receive that payment. Prior to that payment, Purdue Pharma filed bankruptcy. So the claims of Purdue Pharma then had to go to the bankruptcy court, and there was a settlement. All those amounts haven't changed dramatically, but there are other debtors that have suffered as a result of that. There have been 13 separate plans for reorganization. This is being the 13th plan. And so we, as a member of that class, have to exercise our franchise, if you will, to either support the reorganization claim. Now it's for those that are not bankruptcy lawyers, which I count myself in. Chapter plan of reorganization means that Pharma is not gonna, or Purdue Pharma is not gonna go away, but they've reorganized their debt. In order to pay the claim, other debtors have had to take a secondary debt position with Pharma, with Purdue Pharma in this case, which means since this amount of money is more in terms of a penalty and fine amount through that class action suit, our claim has a little priority, not ultimate priority as it relates to the US government, but it does have priority claim. We still should receive the lion's share of that money, although it is still subject to the grant requirements of it being spent for an earmarked purpose. And I would recommend you go ahead and vote to approve the reorganization plan, or we'll probably see a 14th plan. And I'll be back to talk about this again.
Okay.
So that'd be my recommendation, Mayor.
All right.
And I'd be happy to answer any questions.
No questions, gentlemen?
Question. So basically, it's just, we're agreeing to take it at the alternate sum.
Yeah, I guess the best way to phrase it is if they do not receive or get a reorganization plan that's acceptable to both Purdue, the court, and the debtors in this case, my fear is that they'll end up in what they call a Chapter 7 proceeding, and they'll just liquidate everything where we'll get even less.
Good? Yes, sir. All right. So we're gonna entertain the adoption of resolution 25-068R to accept
Yes.
accept both the ballot and the e-ballot and the voting.
Yes.
Okay.
Afterwards, once you sign the resolution, the ballot, I think Karen has it as well. You get either you or Todd to execute that and send that in. It's due by the end of this month.
Okay. Entertain that motion.
I so
to
move.
accept. And
Second.
that's, Miller and Flannery. Those in favor?
Franklin, I.
Flannery, aye.
Miller, I.
Lightfoot, aye.
Smith, I.
That's 5-0. Item 16 is the adoption of resolution number 25-069R nominating candidates for the Ellis Appraisal District Board of Directors for the year 2026.
So I believe there are two openings on the board. Now, this is not the board that you go in if you want to dispute your property tax valuation. This is the governing board of the appraisal district who handle the business matters and strategies. So I believe we have until the 15th of October to make a nomination. I would assume nobody has one tonight since we haven't discussed it at this point, but if you do have one, let us know tonight. If not, we can put it back on for the next agenda in October, if you come up with someone.
So I guess I'd ask council, is there anybody that y'all want to put on that as a nomination?
What are some of the qualifications?
They have to live in Ellis County.
Pretty much.
There may be a time frame, 6 months or something like that.
Yeah, it probably is.
But
And then it's basically a citizen and property taxpayer in Ellis County.
if it-
Historically, we have not done a lot of nominations. Yeah. Yeah, I think we nominated John Knatt
Correct.
when he first got on the board. John Knight, who's now our EDC guy. He was on that board for a few years, and he got off whenever he came to work here. But historically, we have not nominated. and we have gone with what some of the other cities have nominated. That's just because we didn't have a lot to choose from in terms of people jumping up and down and saying, I want to be on the board.
There's
So,
more information on this agenda item in your
In the pack.
packet. Yeah.
hearing none, I ask that we move it to October.
No, Mayor, you can just ask for a consensus to bring this back in October and receive any nominations for consideration.
No nomination's optional, right? We don't
Yeah.
have to
Yeah, we don't
nominate
have to.
anybody.
Well, we'll put it back on there in case somebody beats you up or whatever and says they want to do that. We'll put it on there. Everybody's good with that. All right,
Mr. Mayor,
yes,
did that change the motion?
Sorry, I didn't.
Did that change the motion? Should we prolong it to next meeting?
You don't need to. If you by consensus don't vote on it or take action tonight, the mayor said he'd bring it back.
Okay.
okay. Item 17 is to conduct a public hearing and consider approval of ordinance number 25-045, granting a zoning change from Plan Development 108 revised PD 108R to Plan Development 108 revised 2 PD 108R2 to allow commercial and multifamily uses to be developed on the site of approximately 17.23 acres of land generally located at the southeast corner of South Central Boulevard and North Highway 77 and along the south side of South Central Boulevard, along the east side of North Highway 77, property identification number 187044 in Ellis County Appraisal District, City of Red Oak, Ellis County, Texas, case ZC 2521, requested by Darian Shanahan. Is that who that is, correct? Okay, cool. Yes, sir. Go ahead. You're gonna give us some background, then we'll do our public hearing.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, council. Yes, this one is a request to rezone this particular piece of property. This one is if you guys are familiar with the particular tract of land, it was brought before us back in, I think, lastly in roughly 2022, for the proposal of a senior living facility. At that time, they were looking to do a multifamily for, like I said, senior living facility on this tract of approximately somewhere around 159 to 183 units on the tract. Currently, they're looking to do a mixed use type of development on this tract of property, to where they're going to incorporate multifamily, where it'll be approximately about 300 units, as well as some commercial uses on the site. Some unique uses that they're going to be doing is introducing a clinic, which they'll kind of do like a med spa type of deal, as well as some other type of deal. Clinic uses, so medical type of uses there, as well as the farmers market, I'm sorry, which will be on this tract of land, or this parcel right here, or piece of land. It'll all be one large site, so it won't be subdivided. So they do have some residential adjacency, which will be to the east of the lot, so the southeast, so just here. All of the proposed development as far as the buildings are at least 100 feet away from the residential sites. So from those property lines, the applicant has proposed to provide screening along those residential sites. So what they're going to be doing is they will provide a wrought iron fence along with masonry columns, spaced about 30 feet apart, along with shrubs and our standard landscaping trees. Those trees will be spaced at 1 tree per 30 feet on center along that property, along the rear of the property, or that east side of the property. And they have included additional, or proposed to provide additional screening or tree frontage along that side of the property as well as additional, I would say overage of landscaping along the east side and just around the site in general. The applicant also is proposing to show, I guess, so you can see some kind of the drop on the particular property. Just kind of, I'll zoom in so you can kind of see how this is going to look from that residential site. So if you look here, this is the east residential site of the property. So just in perspective, this is going to be the kind of an eye view from that multifamily. So this is what it'll be kind of from the eyesight. So they'll have their landscaping here, and then this is what it'll look like from that particular property. So you'll have their retaining walls along with their landscaping. So at that sight line, you won't see very much of this particular site because there's a huge drop in the topo for this site. Let's see.
That's on the east side. What's on the west side?
On the west side, that's going to be facing Highway 77 on the west side of the site.
Yeah, well, I meant on that colorful picture down to the bottom left, is that, so what you just showed us, is that all the way across, or is that just on that east side of that? Whichever direction, is that south?
On that, on the
retaining
this
walls
one?
will be on the east side.
The retaining
South,
wall
I
is,
believe there's another commercial lot to the south of there in the rotary.
right. Mhm.
So go back to that other picture.
Which one? This one?
No, that one. Whoop,
I'm
right
sorry.
There you go.
there. Okay.
Yes.
So is that directly north? Is the page up directly north, or is
Yeah.
it skewed?
Right. So their arrow is a little bit off on this one. Let's go back to the site plan so you kind of see it.
Yeah, so,
So the north arrow is more so like this.
okay.
So it's
so
kind of at an
all-
angle.
Okay, so all that east side is gonna
Right.
have that type of,
Exactly. That vegetation and that retain, and that screening wall and retaining wall. So it'll be going along this border of that,
okay.
residential, these residential sites that are here.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
But, and then I'll kind of show you some of the concept aerial drawings as well. So this, of course, is going to be the proposed lofts over commercial development. So for that multifamily, they'll have the commercial at the bottom, some commercial tracks at the bottom. See if we can kind of zoom in. You'll see kind of the effect of that when we get to our so kind of here. So you see the commercial properties that are here. So you kind of see the tables that are there. So it'll incorporate some commercial tracks that'll be at the bottom level, and then you'll have the multifamily on top of there. So it'll incorporate that as well as the multifamily. They have a parking garage that they're proposing in the interior of this particular multifamily as well, and parking all around the site as you saw on the site plan. These are some of the commercial buildings that they are proposing, just the concept design of some of those commercial buildings around the site. And of course, you saw the amenities that were throughout the site also. This is going to be how the farmers market is conceptually drawn, and it's kind of open, and they will have stub outs for potential redesign of this particular site if they're needing to make adjustments to the farmers market in the meantime, if they have something that they're needing to modify and place something else inside of that farmers, what they're proposing to be a farmers market area.
So if a farmer's market doesn't work. it is
Well,
able
we-
to
we-
be changed into something else.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
But it won't be parking.
Inside of that structure? No, there's parking all around the structure, but not inside of that particular structure.
Okay.
And then just some of the development drawings also.
Okay.
So,
Mr. Palmer,
yes, sir.
may I see a street view of the site, please? And while you pull that up, did you initially say this was a senior living facility that was reviewed first?
Previously, that was back in 2022. So as it currently is, it is able to be developed as a senior living facility.
So that was the initial request,
Well,
by this
not from this,
not by this, okay.
not from this,
got it.
no.
So as a previous developer, so landowner is still a part in each one, but it's a new developer the previous developer got it approved for senior living,
Okay,
but they went away, so now we've got a new developer wanting to do this.
thank you, Mr. Fuller, you saved the day, but I still would like to see the street view.
Yeah. All right. So it is right here is your area. So where all the trees are at, it's basically all it is right now. You want to go down to the street?
No, I think we're good.
Okay. That is it, unless you guys have some additional questions.
And Deer Creek was the only residential adjacency that we have for this?
For this one, yes. So as you can see, it's no additional residences around this one.
Okay, thank you, sir.
No problem.
All right, so this is oh, you good, sir?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
This is a public hearing, so we can open this public hearing at 7:36. Yeah. All right, and. Yep, sure, yep, you bet. You're the developer?
Yes, sir. My name is Darian Shanahan,
Oh, okay.
from Dallas. Live at 1800 North Field Street, downtown Dallas. Honored to be here. Thank you for your time, Mayor, council, city staff. When the landowner came to us on this, it was age restricted, multifamily at 163 units roughly. And he was just having a hard time getting it to pencil out. The landowner was just new to it. He saw a pretty picture, bless his heart, but it just wouldn't pencil. The banks wouldn't bank it, the investors wouldn't bank it, and he couldn't even sell it. You know, it just wasn't enough density. So it was just going to be a picture. So he came to me and just said, "Hey, how can we turn this into something that's a win for the city and a win for everybody involved?" And so we got to work. It's been 18 months of some due diligence. We went to the city staff. They've asked some great, tough questions. They had some concerns they wanted to make sure were addressed, most notably the privacy issue. And so not only are we going to do the retaining wall, but we're bringing in 900 feet of 15-foot mature evergreens, you know, just to make sure we don't want to intrude on anyone's privacy. And so we're here to be neighborly. The other deal was for traffic. So we've added turn lanes to keep the flow of traffic. Most notably, they want to make sure that this wasn't a pretty picture, right? We have the Capitol behind us to make this a reality. And the other deal is they want to make sure this wasn't someone trying to get all this approved, but then they just build multifamily and the other pad sites sit empty, right? And we've seen that all over the state. So what I proposed was, then let's throw it into the PD that once I go vertical on one building, I have to go vertical on all of them at the same time. That way, you know, you get a true mixed-use development. Mr. Fuller and the staff thought that was a great idea. They put that in there. So that's a requirement on us that most people in the state just don't have. So once we start building one building, we're going to build them all. The other deal was they asked a great question: how do we make sure the farmers market doesn't become a flea market, right? So we went out there and we saw the regulations of Dallas. Their farmers market is a great hit. I live in downtown Dallas, and everyone loves the farmers market. So we brought their regulations in, and again, they asked great, tough questions. We're excited about Red Oak. Most notably, I want to say that we could spend our time and resources in Dallas or Fort Worth or whatever, but it would just be another project in those cities. In this city, it'd be something special. We truly want to be a part of something special. We're here for any concerns you have, any questions, and I'm truly honored to have your time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Could I add some things to it? In here, we got 2 restaurants that overlook the water. So just for social, you know, that way you can sit there, have a drink if you like, eat your food at the water. We got a Zen garden, splash pads. We got pickleball courts. The med spa is one of the hottest business models in the country right now. And, you know, we got the walking trails. And so we're just trying to really, really put together a new vibrant community there. And we also think that it truly complements the PD 141R that y'all approved in April, which is just to the north, you know, kind of that northeast arrow right there. And once you put the two together, it truly creates a new corridor in Red Oak, Texas that, again, we'd be honored to be a part of it. So thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Shanahan. And then, Mr. Campbell, can you make your way up there? Roderick, you may have to pull up, his address of 189, Deer Creek, and would you adjust that mic for him?
My name is Claude Campbell. I live at 189 Deer Creek Drive. I'm at about 900 feet of abutting that property. My property goes from a very low spot up a hill about 40, 45 feet, and then comes down and goes over. And I'm basically on that hill that they showed in the earlier
Which
display.
house is it? Can you see that up there?
Okay, if you will go to,
Is it the end
go
of the
go
golf
further. You see the metal, go
The
further.
red roof?
The metal roof. Right there.
Okay.
That's my house.
Okay.
And so I've got about 900 feet of frontage with the development. I have no problem with the apartments and commercial altogether. I do have a problem with the number. 301 apartments. And then you have 24, 34, however many businesses, commercial businesses are in there. And you know, that's my best estimate from what I could get from the designs that they're putting up there right now, the preliminaries. And right now, from Deer Creek to the Life School drop-off where they go across 35, I spend sometimes 15 minutes to travel less than a mile. Less than 1 mile takes 15 minutes. You add 300 apartments and 30 businesses into that mess, and we're going to have a traffic nightmare. I would just ask that the numbers be reduced or that something better traffic-wise can be developed, because just adding a couple of lanes is not going to do it. It's just going to make people be switching lanes like they do crazy, and we're going to have a traffic nightmare.
Thank you, sir, very much. So you're talking about when you go up 77 to the bridge?
Right,
From-
Deer Creek comes down and goes off onto 77.
Right,
And then when you go north to the 35 bridge where
Right.
they go off to Life School,
right,
I spent 15 minutes and it's less than a mile
yeah.
to get there.
Yeah.
So.
Thank you, sir, very much.
Uh-huh.
You know what, I think, I can't be certain, but I hope the state is working on a light at that bridge. You would think that they'd have the number counts to be able to do that, but I don't know. And I don't know how that helps or hurts anymore, but thank you very.
We're working on that with the golf course retail and
Oh, okay, here you go.
and the other development as well. So they're at the overpass with the Oaks. That's one of the things that we're looking at with that development is being able to put a signal there on that intersection. Because, and I agree, but it's in the evenings around 3 or 4 o'clock, and then first thing in the morning, it is a nightmare because everybody going to the Oaks to school. And it's just that school traffic is just awful during those times of day, because you just have an officer sitting out there trying to flag everybody and it takes forever. So hopefully the signals will help with that.
And I will say, unfortunately, good thing, bad thing, now the golf course, that's what he's talking about, that's gonna be developed. So that's where that light's talking about. So there's gonna be other issues that are kind of coming up, so. Okay, thank you, sir. Will you, put us back on to what we need to see? Was there anybody else that wishes to speak on this public hearing? All right, so the time is 7:44, and I'll entertain a motion to close that public hearing.
So moved.
Second.
Franklin Smith. We're closing it. Those in favor?
Franklin, I.
Pointer, aye.
Miller, I.
Lightfoot, aye. Smith, aye.
That's 5-0. So, council, do you have questions? And I guess the one thing I can probably say, I think the reason why that other development didn't happen was the density numbers. And so that's probably the fine line that this developer has to walk to be able to develop it, is he has to have so many units to get, maybe not get the funding, but it makes it justifiable to be built. And that's why the other person who came to us with a lower density couldn't do it. It's because he didn't have the numbers and therefore couldn't get the bank funding. So that's that fine line that we have to walk, and we appreciate your coming and talking about it, but I think if I spoke that right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Council, any discussions that you need?
No, I wrote in my notes, I had a concern with the, going from 163 to 300 units. I share that same sentiment. However, I don't know from a development perspective, if we can dictate on that, the size of the lot. It looked like they're clearly meeting any type of block coverage or any type of, I guess, occupancy issues. I don't,
They're doing a good job with site plan and fitment. And it just gets back to, it's not financially feasible to do it with the lesser number of lots, so it will end up sitting there.
yeah, and I understand that, but I do appreciate the attempt for the landscaping. I do appreciate that for the residential area.
So the one question I have, and I want to make sure that I'm reading this right, both those are entrances, correct? One off of 342 and one off of 77? Please.
Yes, you are correct. There are both entrances with turn lanes. And just for clarity on density, the magic number in multifamily is 300. And the reason is it's about 180 to 200,000 a door. So to build the 300 is 60 million by itself. And once you start taking away from the 300, it just doesn't pencil out. In other words, if we lessen that, it just doesn't get built. And so, yeah. And so-
Particularly with the quality.
Yes, sir, especially with the quality. Absolutely.
Yeah, and we, that's the other thing that we want to maintain is just for, helps your value for your property too, to keep that value up. So that bottom floor that faces 342, some of that small businesses underneath
Yes, sir.
there?
There's 11,000 square feet of retail there.
And what, tell me what type of thing might go into
Well, we
that?
could do anything from coffee shops, any type of strip center retail,
Okay.
right? That will help complement it. Nail shops. It's we haven't even put that out for lease yet,
Sure.
but we will also make sure it complements the community, the
Sure.
tenants we take. And so we definitely will see a coffee shop where people are drinking coffee on the patio
Yeah, or beer.
and such things.
Can we show? Sorry, there was renderings that weren't included, unfortunately, but
This is the
I'd like
architect.
to present it to you all, so you can see the visualization.
May I-
of the
may I ask,
site.
bro?
I tell you what, I don't know if we can do that now that we've closed, can we?
We can,
After
here?
You can adjust.
Okay. Does anybody want to see that?
I'm happy to make a motion. I would love to see it.
Okay, there we go.
Yes.
Yep, thank you, sir. Never mind.
Yeah,
I didn't want to.
Right here.
we can go, I can open up the drive, I can open up the drive.
So it'd be these 2 pages, sir.
Yeah. We'll try to open up the drive.
I mean, nice.
And we end up with. That'll be in the family of three.
Sorry, these will be included in the actual PD. They just didn't make it in the packet. Sorry. Here we go.
There's a couple pages. Yeah, this would show this to read out. Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty.
Thank you, Mayor. And right here on the bottom left corner, you would see the retail in the patios with the apartments above it. You also see the pickleballs on one of this angle. We have another page as well, where with the two restaurants, the patios are facing the water.
That's nice looking. Thank you very much. Cool.
Thank y'all very much.
Hold on, a couple more questions, sir.
Yes, sir.
That entrance that's off of 342, is that gated or not?
No, it's not gated. It is a boulevard entrance, but no, sir, it's not gated.
And so I'm assuming the splash pad and all that will only be for residents only?
Yeah, and that we may actually revise that. The pool would be resident only, but the splash pad we would like to see actually be for the community.
That's, and the pickleball court probably?
Yeah, absolutely, for
All
the
that.
community.
Anybody,
Yes, sir, absolutely.
will it be just a park?
I think for
Park style.
liabilities, I would make sure the pool would be just community. So the only, at some point when we get to the fine tuning of it, we'll probably have to put a fence between the pool and the splash pad. So, yes, sir.
And then I noticed one of those pictures, and he mentioned it, Mr. Palmer mentioned it about, looks like a drive-through to that center parking lot under a building.
Yes, sir. There's the center of this Texas wrap style apartment is a parking garage. So that's how we're accommodating enough parking for everything.
All right.
And so the drive-through would go into the parking garage, sir.
And that'll probably be, of course, locked for.
Oh,
residents
absolutely,
only.
absolutely. Yes, sir.
Good.
Good.
Okay. Council, I would, thank you, sir, very much.
Thank you.
Council, I would entertain the motion to approve ordinance number 25-045.
So moved.
Before we go to that, hang on just a second. Well, were there any comments from P and Z?
P and Z actually voted unanimously to approve it.
Okay. All right.
Motion stands. So moved.
Okay, so Councilman Franklin,
Second.
Councilman Miller, second. I'm sorry, he'd already said that.
I didn't hear you.
Those in favor?
Franklin, I.
Minor eye. Miller, aye. Lightfoot, aye. Smith, aye.
That passes 5-0. So thank you, gentlemen. Wish I had a better answer. We'll get you a helicopter, fly around like that. So got plenty of land to put on there. All right. Thank you very much. Item 18. Am I getting that right? Yep. Okay. Conduct a public hearing and consider approval of ordinance number 25-046, granting a special use permit request to allow a credit union facility located on lot 1, block B of the Walmart Red Oak addition, property identification number 256592, the Ellis County Appraisal District, City of Red Oak, Ellis County, Texas, case CZ 25-23 were requested by somebody Reese Partners LP. Carol? Vaquero.
There we go. Great job, Mayor.
I'm sorry. Thank you.
No worries, no worries. Yes, sir. So thank you, Mayor. Again, good afternoon, council. So this one is a request to allow a credit union facility on a subject site. For this particular property, a specific use permit is required to develop a credit union facility in the subject zoning. So the highway oriented district requires us to approve a specific use permit to be developed on this site. So whenever we get a project that requires a specific use permit, then we have to look at this particular zoning and the particular the proposal a lot more in depth to ensure that what is being proposed follows the vision of what we want on that particular site. So with this one, this one ended up going, of course, to P and Z. But before we start talking about what P and Z ended up requesting for this particular site, we'll just go down some of the items that we look at for the site, okay? So with this one, it's in the highway oriented, like I mentioned, as with previous property projects that we brought forward with this one. If it's in the highway oriented, then we have to go to our comprehensive plan. In particular, this one is in Planning Area 1 and in Zone 3, which requires us to look at our I-35 corridor plan, which requires the additional site development items to be placed on this particular site. So it requires an additional landscaping and site items to be placed on the site because it has to follow our comprehensive plan and those site designs as required inside of the I-35 corridor plan. Additionally, we look at what's surrounding this particular site to make sure that it meets that vision and it follows those uses that are going to be surrounding it, and to make sure that it's compatible with those uses that are surrounding it and it meets the vision for everything that's going to be placed there. So going along with that, this one in particular is a little outside of what we are envisioning for this particular site in totality. So this one, when we start looking at those additional items, there was concerns about the tax generation for the site, as well as the crime that's potential for the particular business that's going to be placed on this particular site. Additionally, we just looked at the proposed site and what could potentially come there, and we view that the site could bring in additional uses that are more compatible that could go on the frontage that's there, and a higher revenue generating use that could go at this particular site. So that's what kind of led us down the line of what we're looking at there. When we took it to P and Z, it was a split motion for that particular approval, and it ended up, of course, on a split approval. Then that means that it does not get approved and it was denied at the P and Z level. And that's kind of where we are with this one. So.
Okay. So this is a public hearing. Thank you, sir. This is a public hearing. Public hearing time is 7:58. We do have Mr. Moore, who has signed up for this item.
Thank you, Mayor. Tyler Moore,
Yep.
364 Foch Street, Fort Worth, Texas, 76107. Thank you for the opportunity to speak this evening. I want to begin by addressing the concerns raised by the city manager in the memo we received during last week's planning and zoning meeting. While I respect his perspective, I believe the facts of this site and our proposal point toward a different conclusion. As of today, this property has been on the market for 2,951 days, over 8 years without a buyer. There are very specific reasons for that. First off, inferior access to the I-35 on-ramp, northbound on-ramp, and its location to the side of the Walmart along the frontage road, a high purchase price, and deed restrictions, Walmart's strict control over permitted uses, and their unwillingness to subdivide or sell only a portion of the 2.12 acre tract. It also took several months of negotiations to reach this purchase agreement with Walmart. They're not motivated sellers. They do not need the money. Given their lack of motivation and the amount of time this property has been for sale, there's a very real possibility that Walmart could take this off the market if this deal falls through. If that happens, the city is left with a vacant property that, unlike our proposal, has no potential to generate sales tax revenue. It's noted that a credit union would not generate sales tax revenue. Although sales tax generation is not a land use consideration, I'd like to point out that this project has the potential to unlock a future tax producing use. The proposed credit union will occupy half of the site, and the project will effectively reduce the basis on the remaining land. This will unlock a more affordable pad site opportunity for a restaurant or retail user with the potential to generate sales tax revenue for the city. Now, for safety concerns, there were some concerns raised about the security risks, particularly the possibility of a robbery due to proximity to the interstate. Navy Federal is a sophisticated financial institution with robust modern security measures, credit union facilities across the country, Many in similar or more exposed locations operate safely every day. Additionally, our client chose this site for specific reasons, including high visibility along I-35, proximity to Red Oak's main retail corridor, a significant existing member base in the area, and a large population of veterans and their families who currently have to drive over 20 minutes to the nearest branch. This branch will meet an unmet need for local residents while reinforcing Red Oak as a hub for regional services. Finally, we've designed a beautiful site, building and landscaping plan that both meet and exceed the city's design standards. We believe this will set a high bar for future development along this important corridor. So in summary, this is a project that activates a long, stagnant piece of land, respects the city's planning standards, and provides a high-quality service to Red Oak residents, particularly veterans and their families. It also creates the conditions for additional retail or restaurant development on the remainder of the property, which will produce a tax revenue for the city that the city rightly values. I respectfully ask for your support of this specific use permit, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. Was there anybody else that wishes to speak at this public hearing? Okay. The time is 8:01, and I'll entertain the motion to close the public hearing.
So moved. Second.
Lightfoot. Miller. Those in favor?
Franklin, I.
Flannery, aye.
Miller, I.
Lightfoot, aye.
Smith, aye.
That closes at 8:01. That's 5-0. Okay, can you pull us up instead of that, since it's so jarbled? Pull up, yeah, the
Ariel?
yeah, aerial, whatever you wanna call that. So we make sure we all know about
Where it's located.
yeah, what we're talking about.
We're looking at this site here.
Okay. So, and that's one lot that has to be subdivided, is that correct?
So yes, it will be, if we're looking at that site, so of course that, let's see. See how I can do this. I'll look a little funky. So if we're looking at this site, so this is the larger site, so this is the larger site here, but in total, the total site. And then this one breaks down into two different pad sites.
Okay, so, and I'm just asking a design thing. Engineer, you might have to do this, so. Water retention and stuff like that.
So right here, is where that will be.
Okay. Okay, philosophically, I want to ask. Is that site now divided in half? And so whatever develops to the east of that, would they be able to use that water site too, or would they have to have their own retention pond?
It would require another detention pond next door.
Right. Right. So,
All right,
so this pad site would need its own detention pond.
Okay. that's fine. What, and I know we're back coming out of the caveman time aspect. How do you get away from that? How do you get, yeah. Yes. I guess my point is, that's ugly. That's loss of vital piece of property that can be generating things. Anyway, I don't quite understand things. And all right,
So,
let me let other people.
Mayor, could I
Yeah.
make a few comments?
Sure, please.
In addition to the staff recommendation. So this property has actually been on the market way longer than 8,900 days. It's been on the market since the beginning of time. And I would rather it stay on the market vacant for another 8 years, then put the wrong thing out there so that the long-term ability to be the highest and best use is gone. Once you put a bank or some lesser use that's not the highest and best use on a piece of property, that's what it's gonna be. Sometime down in the future, we're gonna be saying, no, Mr. Restaurant X, we don't have a site for you. Because we have allowed banks and other types of uses to go along our frontage where you want to be. I've been doing economic development for over 25 years. I know that it's not developed yet. It will. You don't have a site at the corner of Walmart and I-35 with 80 or 90,000 vehicles a day on it, and you don't eventually get a restaurant site on it. The other issue is, you know, Prosperity did a good job of security in their bank too. But you can ask the police department, which I've done throughout the years, if you put a bank right on the interstate, you're asking for trouble because it's easy on, easy off access. Particularly in this one, the exit ramp of the entrance ramp is right in front of the building. You know, it's an illegal entry, but if you just robbed a bank, do you care whether you're crossing an illegal entrance into the highway? I actually officed in Prosperity Bank for a number of years when our original city hall burned down. And I know that that bank got robbed a lot. Chief Schroeder sent me some numbers. I think since, what was it, 2009 or 11, there was 4 or 5 robberies of it just during that time. And that was well after the time that I was in there where it got robbed twice. So I do have real concerns on this one. I think it is definitely not the highest and best use. I would welcome to have Navy Federal Credit Union in town. I think they would provide a good benefit for our community. I just don't think this is the right site for them to be on. I think it's taking away our ability to be a long-term sustainable retail restaurant corridor on the highway.
I don't want to repeat anything Todd said, but that was my first thought as well. I would like to see Navy Federal on some interior site, not on the highway. Little better position for the use. I think that this spot is going to develop to something good, and I think the price may have kept some users away, but the city is growing into that price in every other piece of property that we've seen vacant, and we always need to have spots available to show prospective developers for sure.
So. Okay.
I second that. I love Navy Federal Credit. I've used them as it before. But just that piece of property, they could maybe switch sides. Pick the back half, might be better.
So I guess what I would say is you would think that Walmart knows the premium cost of land and they would think that, yeah, the highways would be a lot more, but they would probably sell you something someplace else, or I don't know, I'm just talking out loud, but that they probably don't get as much for interior pieces of property, but that's just my thoughts, so.
So my concerns are from a development perspective. I don't see a developer who wants to develop a restaurant coming in and taking the back half, if the front half would be the quote unquote premium for them to attract business. I know that exit is a little bit not preferred, but I still think it's valuable land. My additional concern is the proximity to the next bank. We have a bank, Shipley's, and then now proposed credit union, aka bank. That brings slight concern to me, because as y'all know, I'm a huge fan of highest and best use. So that was the first thing I thought of when I seen this development. Do we by chance know, I think the applicant mentioned Walmart had deed restrictions on who they wanted to do business with or something to that. I don't know that to be true, but that's
Well,
what I heard.
Walmart does carry deed restrictions. And we've worked with Walmart on other properties as well. You know, the property right next door to it, that was a Walmart property. It had deed restrictions on it. The bigger property, just to the east, adjacent to Walmart's parking lot, that also has deed restrictions on it. We're working with a developer on it right now, for retail restaurant type uses in there. So they do have deed restrictions, but
But we have a relationship.
we can work through deed restrictions to get
Okay.
good users.
So what about so I'm just trying to get everybody's feel. So if it was on Ovilla Road someplace, like where the gas station that just closed, since they're not gonna redevelop that. You still have concerns that so close to Prosperity or to Citizens Bank?
Are you talking about the raceway?
Yeah.
or-
Racetrack.
Yeah.
Well, I have a different idea in mind for that
Okay,
location.
well, that's fine. I'm
But
just talking. I'm just trying to figure out some things. And I know we're not here to solve their problem, but
correct. I just would love to see the applicant and the city partner to see if we wanted to figure out a way to bring them to Red Oak, which I would welcome with open arms, if we can find the best location that suits the applicant as well as the citizens of Red Oak. I just don't think that's the best location for
the other thing I will mention, which I think unless maybe Roderick or Ben, you could pull it up. We don't know that entrance is gonna stay there onto the highway, right? With the redevelopment of that, isn't it going further north?
I don't know where the, what the distance is from Ovilla Road to the new.
I mean, we have it in those plans though, don't we?
And these,
I didn't read that.
No, in the I-35 plan.
In the I-35 from the state, it's.
Yes.
Cause I, for whatever reason, with them to be able to get the U-turns and things like that, I'm sure that all that minutia stuff's gonna be changed out, so.
Right.
Yeah, I think it shifts north.
Yeah.
I just don't know how far.
Yeah, okay.
And personally, I'd like to see the city and this organization work this out, because this would be a valuable resource to our local community, I think.
that I agree with.
So what I'm hearing is we're not excited about approving this ordinance, and evidently from legal, that this has to be a super majority. But we sure don't want to kill the thing, right? That's what I'm
Correct.
hearing people. So how do we work through this to say, can we help find them a different place, or we just say, good luck?
The only thing that's on your agenda is a zoning request.
See, okay.
Table it
But-
before, or you could deny it. They could maybe come back.
But if we deny it, it prevents them from coming back to us for a period of time, or no?
Not on a different piece of property.
right. So
Not
that
on a
you
different
would be,
piece of property.
Yeah.
yeah,
It
it would
is
just be
the same
particularly for this
thing,
site.
zoning app.
When this was being considered, was that a consideration? Did P and Z suggest something different?
I don't know if I don't think they suggested any other sites. I think they had some of the same concerns, but they're not out looking to go here instead. No, that
Right.
would be,
And I know this.
should be working with Lee and John.
Right, yeah, that would be something that they could work with our economic development team potentially for, but the, in front of us right now would be the
Right.
zoning for this particular site.
Okay.
And whether or not we're looking to approve the
Okay.
zoning for this particular site.
All right,
Even if we said, okay, we'd rather have you on the back half of the property, we'd still have to come back at another meeting.
yeah, so.
We
it's
Right.
not-
approve that.
they want-
Exactly, we have to take it in front of both boards, so we'd have to take it back to P and Z, and then it'd have to come back
Okay.
to you.
Is it just
All right,
that
yeah, so,
it's potentially gonna lower the kind of businesses that you can bring in? Is that the concern?
Well, it's gonna do that, but it's also gonna take away that space. You know, you have limited space on I-35, which is going to be your primary driver for retail and restaurant and so forth. So once you start taking pieces of that off the market, now I can't sit there and talk to Black Bear Diner and say, okay, we'd like for you to go on this site right here, because now I got a bank out there. And I can't even go to the one behind them because, well, I don't want to be back there. That, you know, there's no visibility there.
Okay, I'll entertain a motion to approve ordinance.
Yeah, I would recommend we do a motion to approve in a second, because it does require supermajority. If the vote were 3-2 to grant the zoning, it would then fail. If you have a motion to deny, it may be harder to unwrap that.
Okay. So,
I'll make a motion to approve.
yeah, okay, so I'll entertain the motion to approve ordinance number 25-042, and that's Lightfoot,
I'll second it.
Franklin. Those in favor?
Franklin, no.
Flannery, aye.
Miller, no.
Lightfoot, no.
Smith, no.
So that is one in favor, the four,
Favor, motion failed.
motion fails,
So in cases denied.
like he said. All right. Thank you. Item 19, conduct a public hearing and consider approval of ordinance number 25-047, granting a zoning change from Plan Development 175, PD 175 to Plan Development 175 revised, PD 175R, for submittal of the development plan for a data center complex and associated infrastructures on approximately 43.7 acres of land generally located southeast corner of North State Highway 342 and East Ovilla Road, and property identification numbers 183449, 32.4 acres, and 308652, 11.3 acres of Ellis County Appraisal District, City of Red Oak, Ellis County, Texas, case ZC 25-24, requested by Cody Brewer. Sir, go ahead.
All right, yes, sir. So just as you mentioned, this one is a zoning request for the development plan for this particular data center project. So this one came before us previously as a zoning request to primarily zone it to allow for the data center use to be on this particular property. However, they had to come back before us to actually develop it. So they, along with all of our other zonings that we come in, that with the PDs, they have to come in and provide the development plan with it. This is the proposed development plans for this particular data center project. So that's really what they're coming in with. So along with the development project, or with their proposed plans previously, they are standalone with those plans. So they still have the screening devices that are along the exterior of the property, as well as the buildings that they previously proposed along the two buildings that they have here, as well as make sure I get the terminology for this, the substation that they had here. I lost my train of thought just for a second, but the two buildings that they have here, which are going to be 2 floors, is what they're proposing inside of here, with the potential ability to have a third subfloor, but everything will be interior to this particular building. The max height for this one is going to be 70 feet, with the potential to have an extension of screening that'll be above that 70 feet over for these 2 buildings that are located here. Of course, you guys do see the detention pond that's going to be to the south of this particular site. And it's going to have all of our regular landscaping that we do have, or we require throughout the city. So it'll be shrubs that's going to be along the frontage of the property, as well as a berm. And our regular landscaping plantings that are gonna be, one tree per every 40 feet on center. That's gonna be along the exterior of the property also.
Is that also along, the eastern border?
So the eastern border here,
Yeah.
that's actually not in city limits. They do have a screen along that, along this property though. So they do have the screening device that's located there.
But no trees?
So no, they do have some trees
And
that are
does
there.
it also have berms?
Don't recall if they have the berm that's there. I know it's along the frontage of the property, but they do have the screening devices that are going to be there along their property. So that wrought iron fence with the black wrought iron fence is going to be there. Let's get to our device that's going to be there. So I think it's going to be the shrub, just the shrubs that's going to be there. So they have they have the shrubs that are going to be there. I don't think the berm is going to be there.
So do we know, is this, so I'm just, okay, thank you. We'll ask these questions here in just a second.
Who got it?
Okay. Anything else?
That is it for this one.
So Roderick, does it conform with the regulations that we?
Yes, sir. I'm
established in the
sorry.
actual
It
zoning?
does conform with the regulations that was previously set forth for this particular development.
Okay. And so the time is 8:21 and we'll open this public hearing. Is there anybody here that wishes to speak on this public hearing? Okay. Twenty seconds.
You like a motion, Mr. Mayor?
Not
Just
yet.
waiting.
I'm waiting.
I was gonna make a motion to close it at 8:22.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll entertain that motion. Lightfoot,
Second.
Smith. Those in favor?
Franklin, I.
Flannery, aye.
Miller, I.
Lightfoot, aye.
Smith, I.
That closes at 8:22. Now that I got that. Thank you. Okay, council, any questions on this?
No questions.
So my question, and we really didn't have to, we kind of put on Houston School Road, everything across the street, is that city limits?
Some of it.
But we decided we wanted that berm to be all the way around that.
That's because that was our road, Houston School Road. Is major.
So this is a county road and we're gonna poop on the county?
Well, this is a dead end road going to a cul-de-sac as opposed to a major thoroughfare.
Okay. Correct. So we're pooping. Okay.
I think that's the legal term, but that's-
Not even a technical term nor a planning term. For me or you. Anybody from the county can come up here and speak on it either.
and in fairness, Mr. Mayor, they're doing wrought iron fencing with shrubbery all the way around it. So
Yeah.
it is a
It's always
pretty
missing
good
the yard.
barrier between it.
Right.
Up to a 60-foot road. that-
Okay, so it's 70
that-
foot in the air and the setback from that property line is
To where? To which
Right
one?
there.
So you
To
feel
the
like
Eileen
130 foot.
Eileen Drive.
right. So that's so it's actually to the property line from that building. It's about 196 feet from the building to their property line. And then you have an additional 60 feet before they get to the first property line of the county, those county properties. Yeah, those county lots. And then in between those, you have the screening device along with those shrubs. So it's quite a bit of distance.
Are y'all the applicant? Y'all are the applicant. I sure wish they were here. Cause I know they're gonna be scraping dirt and they're either gonna have to haul it off or they can make the berms. So my preference would be to say, we have them put a berm on the east side. But that's just my thing. Just my thing. So, any questions, council?
Mr. Mayor, I'm happy to support your motion if you need me to make a motion, sir.
I can't make a motion.
So if you need me to make one, I'm
Oh.
happy to support.
Okay. All right.
So what's the distance north to south along Eileen there that we could be asking for a berm?
Are they here?
No.
They're not here.
Don't think it's in the actual.
This is just ordinance. Who's this guy?
He's the next one.
He's the black guy. Wait, he didn't sign up to speak?
Name is Ryan Wyrick with Kimley Warren, 2600 North Central Expressway.
Excuse me,
Cody
sir.
was-
Are
Cody
you,
wasn't
are you
able to be
signed
here.
up to speak, sir?
For this
Yes.
specific, no.
Can we get them signed up to speak?
The public hearing has already
Public
been
hearing.
open and
Public-
closed. Are we just gonna ask
I don't
him
know who they
questions?
represent,
I'm not.
and the public hearing's closed.
I'm with Kimley Warren. I'm with Kimley Warren. Who's the applicant?
He's the engineer for the applicant. He's not the zoning land use guy for the applicant. He's on the next agenda out.
Right, too.
Well, it's just whether you want the answers to the question.
I'd like it before we vote on this, to be honest with you.
It's not a
If we-
zoning
we need to
request,
go
it's a
that route.
plating problem.
No, no, it's a zoning issue.
Then what?
Y'all do what you want. That's what. we'll just take this.
Yes.
So let me.
All right, so, what the consent, or what the, I don't want to say consensus, but with the information I just received is that the applicant, the gentleman that was just here, who's with Kimley Horn, also with the applicant, has informed that if they are needing to add a berm, they are okay with adding a berm along that side, so long as they don't have to go back through the entire process, along with that.
So just make that a condition of the motion.
Correct.
Well, you have to amend the. This is just site plan review.
No, this is the development.
This is the development plan.
All right, well,
So that's-
let's forget it.
yeah.
I mean,
No.
I just
no,
thought it was.
If you want to hear from him, let him speak, make a motion to reopen the public.
Well, I don't think you have to do that. You just when you make a motion to approve the development plan with the condition that they put a berm along with the screening and landscaping along the eastern property line.
Right.
Oh, I know.
Because
Okay, just, okay.
I mean, once we approve the zoning, we can't approve that on the plan. That's what I'm not understanding.
Because these development regulations require certain things for all the development. And you're not changing all the plans for the rest of the development.
Not just this site, but other ones. Is that true?
Not gonna change my mind, y'all.
I don't know what you're getting.
Yeah, tell us what you're
We're confused.
recommending then, Bob. I mean, I don't think we get the.
Thing. You. Approve the ordinance with the amendment.
At what risk? It sounds like you're telling us there's some legal risk here to do that, and we'd rather not do that, so.
What I'm not understanding is. Planning staff said that it's in compliance with all the regulations of the zoning for the property. Now you're gonna add additional conditions. That's what is
The problem.
the problem.
All right, well, that's fine. Then just, I'll entertain the motion as is to approve ordinance number 25-47. I'll entertain that motion.
So move.
Okay. Second. And that is Franklin. And Miller.
I have more questions.
Those in favor.
Franklin, I.
Flannery, aye.
Miller, aye.
Lightfoot, aye.
Smith, aye.
That passes 5-0. I need it. And if it got back to that owner and he decided to put one in, could he? Without, okay, I'm just saying.
Yes, they could do a make good.
We want the development and we sure don't want to make it change and we don't want them to have to come back. And so it passed 5-0.
Yeah, we got a
It was
laundry
just-
list of things we want that most of them are, we don't want to
Yeah.
interrupt the process.
Yeah, we're not here to be butt heads or anything like that, but, so it passes 5-0. So pass that on, tell them thank you. All right. Item 20, consider approval, of the preliminary plat for AREP Red Oak Edition, a commercial development on approximately 43.7253 acres of land out of the Benjamin E. Frazier Survey Abstract 371, generally located on the southeast corner of North State Highway 342 and East Ovilla Road, and property identification numbers 183449, 32 acres, and 308652, 11.3 acres of Ellis County Appraisal District, City of Red Oak, Ellis County, Texas, case PS 25-22, requested by Red Oak 66 Holding.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Good afternoon, commissioners, or I'm sorry, not commissioners, council members.
Council,
This is the last case you get to hear from me tonight. But this one is the preliminary plat to go along with that zoning that we just did. The reason why this is coming before you is because it is over the requirement for platting that we're able to do under the our other plats that we're able to do. So it's over 10 acres. So we have to bring it before you as a preliminary plat, which is why you guys are seeing this. It meets those items. So usually for a preliminary plat, it has to be either over 10 acres, 5 or more lots, or it has public work improvements prior to approval of a final plat. So that's why you guys are seeing it, is because it meets one of those different items. So it's just a preliminary plat. This one actually is for the development. We went through the sequence of doing the final plat. So once we get through with this, then we will go ahead and finish everything with the final plat, or the applicant will be able to do the final plat for development, along with start doing everything with their plans to start moving this particular site along for the development of this data center facility.
All right, council, any questions on this?
No question.
All right,
On this-
I'll entertain a motion to approve the preliminary plat for AREP.
So moved.
Red Oak Edition.
Second.
That is Miller and Flannery.
Sir.
Those in favor?
Franklin, I.
Flannery, aye.
Miller, aye.
Lightfoot, I.
Smith, aye.
That passes 5-0. Item 21, consider adoption of resolution number 25-070R, City of Red Oak, Texas, approving the terms and conditions of a tax abatement agreement by and between the City of Red Oak, Texas and Weston Holiday LLC, authorizing its execution by the mayor and providing an effective date.
So
Mr. Fuller.
this is one you'll recall, at the last meeting, we revised and updated our tax abatement guidelines and criteria, but then we also established the reinvestment zone, and that was for this property. They've come back now with the application for the actual tax abatement, and we have been through that with them. You originally had a draft version within your packet, and then that was updated after all the legal was done. There was no substantive changes in it. They were, small phrases and grammar, basically. This agreement here is a little bit different than some of the others that we've had in the past, and there's a reason for that. And this would be what we would recommend that we move forward with, not only on this particular abatement, but on all the rest of the abatements moving forward. So the one, no, on this one, it would be only for this one. So one of the deals in this abatement is it would not become, the agreement would not become effective until they have closed on all of the properties. So they've closed on several of them, but I think there's 2 or 3 properties that are still under contract that they haven't actually finally closed on. So we can't abate something and grant someone an abatement if they don't have it. So what we're saying is we're approving it, but once you actually close on it, that's when it'll become effective, even though the mayor may sign it tonight. Most of the time, it's effective once both parties have signed. This one will be a little bit different just because of that contract, land contract deal. And that would be only for this particular agreement. So some of the other things that we have changed in this one is we're actually going in and changing some terms, not terms in meaning percentages and years. I'm talking about terminology. So what we had in the past called phase 1A and phase 1B, that was more intended because of an individual development that was phased that way. The way we're doing this one is we've got phase 1 and we've got all future phases after that. So it would apply to all of those phases. So once a building is built, that particular phase begins their tax abatement. Once they get a CO, the January following that CO, the abatement goes for 10 years for that building. They may build 2 more buildings the following year, and then that 10-year abatement period begins at that time. So you may have multiple timelines running at the same time. This one is about $790 million in real property improvements. That's the buildings and actual real property. And then 1.4 billion in business personal property. All of the actual abatement percentages and time periods are the same that we've done in all of the other ones. But this one is a little bit higher than what some of the other ones have been. What we have done on this one, and we will be moving forward with on new ones as they come in, as we are establishing and agreed upon what is the market value of what you're putting into development. So what we've run into is when they come in to get their building permit, you may have one company come in and say, oh, it's worth $50 a square foot. I'm exaggerating. And another one comes in and say it's worth $1,000 a square foot. So what we've done is we've taken the average of a couple of them and come up with this $900 a square foot. So we're agreeing together that what you build out here is going to be valued at $900 per square foot for the data center buildings. Now there may be, ancillary buildings and some other things out there that would follow the normal building permit fees and so forth. But for data center, because it's a whole lot different. When you get to the appraisal district, what we have found on some others is they really don't have a good way of valuing what the real property is because it is so different. They're looking at it, oh, it's a big 300,000 square foot warehouse. Well, it's not because it has 479 miles of electric and fiber running through it. It's so much more, it's much more detailed to develop than a distribution type building. So it is a higher value. So what we're doing is establishing that, number one, it sets what the building permit value will be, but more importantly, it sets what the taxable or the market value will be for the appraisal district. Because what the next piece is that during the term of the abatement, you have to maintain at least 75% of that initial market value. So what we don't want to have happen is we don't want to have someone come in and we're going to invest $2 billion. But then next year we're going to come in and protest our property taxes, even though you gave us an abatement based on $2 billion. We're going to come in and protest that. So what we're doing is we're saying, okay, we're gonna give you this tax abatement. It is a good incentive. But you said you're gonna do this. And you need to continue to maintain at least 75% of that value. Obviously, it's gonna depreciate over time. And that allows for some of that depreciation over that 10-year period. The job requirements are different on this one. The other ones we had ranged from 5 to 40 new full-time jobs. This one came directly off of the tax abatement application. So they would have 25 new full-time jobs. And just like all the other ones, I mean, right now you may have 1,200 employees out there as they're building them. Even after they're open, you know, they may have 25 full-time employees, but they may have another 50 contractors out there that may be security contractors. They may be programmers that are not their actual employees, but they're working for the data center. But this would be 25 actual full-time employees. So what we're looking at is the same as we've done in the others, 75% of the real property and 100% of the business personal property for phase one. Once they do phase two, the future phases would get 85% and the 100%. It's all 10-year abatements, just like the others have been. So a little bit of changes, just to try to clarify things and make sure moving forward that everybody's on the same page. We're saying what we mean and we mean what we say, and everybody knows what we're doing. So, Lee, did I miss anything on that? Okay. So basically the same abatement, but with some standards that we can move forward with on the rest of the projects as they come in. Any questions?
No questions.
So the change in approach is just on the value and the maintaining value going forward, being part of the incentive agreement or the abatement agreement?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Protects us.
Protects us. And one of the terminology pieces was we're not using taxable value, we're using market value, because taxable value excludes anything that's abated. So, you know, we don't want to maintain 75% of what's not abated. We want to maintain 75% of what the total value is.
Council, any questions?
No questions.
No questions.
An additional. Thanks for putting that together. So is that recommendations that y'all have done at other places? Can you make ours better?
Yeah.
Nice answer.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Okay, entertain. That was a good legal question to ask. No. Well, it's not status. Okay, I take that back, sir. Anyway. Entertain the adoption of resolution number 25-070R.
So
those.
second.
Okay, and Flannery. Those in favor?
Franklin, aye.
Flannery, aye.
Miller, aye.
Lightfoot, aye.
Smith, aye.
That passes 5-0. Thank you very much. Department reports, Ms. Beasley, you're up first this time. Oh, so we're rotating. Nice job here.
Good. Oh, hello.
Hello, hello, hello.
Good evening. There we go. Good evening, Mayor and Council. A couple highlights from August report. We partnered in the ROISD Back to School Bash, assisted with the Makerspace logo creation and grand opening, as well as helped the fire department coordinate the 105.3 The Fan live broadcast from the fire station. So a busy month for our team. We are also currently working on a 3D tour of the Red Oak Municipal Center. So we're hoping that that helps with renters that are wanting to just kind of see the venue before they actually make a full booking and stuff like that. So that's a new technology for us, as well as we are gearing up for several fall events. So Founders Day you guys want to mark this down, is happening September 20th at Watkins Park. And then Fall Festival is happening October 18th. And then we also are partnering and helping departments with several other fall events that they've got going on in October. Besides that, I will take any questions anybody might have.
No question.
Pick a date for the State of the City recording in.
I have not. That will get to you very shortly.
I didn't even hurry. You mentioned it last time.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Hartman.
Mayor, council, I just wanted to point out a subdivision that we just completed on here. It's still got us as model homes, just started, and as of last Thursday, we did the final acceptance of the subdivisions, the Red Oak Gardens over at Pierce and Dunn Street. So they'll be starting, it's all very small, 27 homes. But they're now released to start building the entire subdivision instead of just the model homes. So thanks.
Ben, how are things going with the Board of Adjustments?
It's great.
Okay.
You want to come to a meeting sometime?
I try to get there when I can.
Okay. We've had a couple of applications. We've had 3 meetings. So they've gone fine.
Okay. Thanks, sir.
Mr. Roberts.
Mayor, council, we're approaching year end. Everything looks to be in line. You know, I've said this before, revenues are strong, expenditures are in line. It doesn't look like we're going to exceed any budgets anywhere. I just wanted to let the council know, the tax note that was approved, that will fund next week. So we'll receive those funds, and then we'll probably come back with an amendment to move those forward into the new fiscal year where we'll spend the money. We have a bond ratings call tomorrow with S&P in preparation for our CO sale. So along with a lot of just budget wrap year-end stuff, we've got some other things going on prepping for the new year. So things are going according to plan. It's been busy. So we're looking forward to the next budget year. So if there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Thank you, sir. Chief Plan.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Last month I reported that we had one of our members return from the Texas Task Force 1 deployment down there in Kerrville and from the July 4th floods. He's here tonight. I just want to recognize Chief Patrica. He went down there for 14 days to serve our fellow Texans to, searching and trying to help those individuals get back to somewhat of a, if you will, a normal lifestyle. So just he's here with us tonight. So I just wanted to mention him and recognize him for that, because we do appreciate him going out and representing the city of Red Oak and the Red Oak Fire Department across the state and doing those great things. So
Thank
Thank
you
you,
very
Chief.
much. Thank you, Chief.
AUI is continuing progress on Station 3. This over the last roughly month, they've been doing a bunch of underground electrical, plumbing, fire hydrant main lines, or fire hydrant mains, I should say, and working on framing up the rebar and stuff for the fire lanes that you see there. This morning, they poured all of that fire lane this morning around the backside. I believe they're going to finish it up hopefully tomorrow morning. They're anticipating on pouring the administration or the living quarter side of the fire station on Friday. So they're moving along good, seeing lots of good progress out there. We have had obviously some rain delays in the past, but it seems like they're being able to catch up where they can and still try to keep it on time. So everything's going smooth out there. No major big issues, but just wanted to update y'all on that. Other than that, that's all I have, unless you have any questions regarding the monthly report.
No questions.
Very much. Miss Amanda.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. It works. I just have a quick update on recruitment for the month of August. We added 1 new hire, and we have currently 4 positions posted on our website. So we're working through our applicants and with police as well. The last 2 weeks of August, we opened our annual open enrollment period for all of our city employees, and that was completed on time, so we're moving through that process for coverage to be effective in October. I'm available to answer any questions you may have. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Mr. Phillips.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. John's out today, so I'll do his update quickly. We have a couple of projects that are going on. We're going to be doing some upgrades to the audio visual in the community room to prep that for more rentals and usability of that space. IT's also been working on designs for the new fiber links that were approved in the budget process, as well as the secure network for the TLET system over at PD. So be happy to attempt to answer any IT related questions.
No questions.
They challenge you every month.
It's just a grab bag. It's fun.
Thank you, sir. Ms. Fuller.
Mayor and Council. I want to say thank you to those of you who found the time to come out to the Makerspace opening. It's been a fun and exciting couple of weeks seeing people come in and use the space. We also had time to get our numbers in for summer reading, and we recorded a 56,000 minutes of reading this summer. Is the recorded number. So I think we did a really great job keeping our kids engaged over the summer. September is also going to be the semi-annual book sale hosted by the Friends of the Library. So on the 26th and 27th. So come out and get some new to you books. I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Mr. Phillips.
Mayor and Council, I'll be doing the Parks and Recreation update tonight. You may or may not be aware, Kyle Kelly's resigned as the director. And so we've actually started, I believe Amanda's been working on that today, getting that position posted. So lots going on in parks as they gear up for fall. We have the football is taking off. We have fall soccer coming up. And then the restrooms over at Hargrove Park are almost complete. We're hearing possibly by the end of this week. So that'll be good, just in time for fall soccer. And then also you may be aware the splash pad over there is continuing to run since it's been upgraded. It can run longer into the month of September. So it's continuing to run. So be happy to answer any parks related questions.
Thank you, sir. Chief Schroeder.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. We have our newest officer, Joshua Hanna, who's a lateral entry. He has completed his orientation training and his preliminary training with the police department. He's now advanced into the field training program and has started that process. We have a new animal control officer that will be starting next Monday, the 15th. She comes to us from the Waco Animal Shelter. She's quite impressive during the interview process, so we're happy to have her on board. The animal control facility continues with the construction, and preliminary should be fall is the completion date, late October, and it's really coming along. I encourage y'all to swing by and take a look at it if you have an opportunity. I'll be happy to answer any questions from the monthly report if you have anything.
No questions.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Benford.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Wanted to give you an update on our streets reconstruction projects. Precinct 4 has mobilized into the Bow Creek Court, and Pebble Creek area. They're there now, and once they finish that, they'll jump over to Old Town where they're doing Highland, Leonard, L&B, Water Street, and then Texas Bit is mobilizing late this week, early next week into the Hilltop Acres, which we approved last month. To redo Hill, Sperry, and Blue Valley Lane. Dobbits, I know it's growing now. They poured the dome today, and they started welding the base of the tank on the ground. So that'll be coming together, and then we'll get to see it get hoisted up into the air. Pretty excited about that. It seems like it's almost done, but we still have about 12 more months on that project. But I'll be very excited to see that come to fruition. And then we are working on our final stretch of register swaps, Public Works and utility billing. We have 97% of our systems switched over to AMI. So just about 100 meters left on the residential side. So pretty excited to see that finally finish up. If you have any other questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. So the time is 8:54 and we will go into executive session pursuant to Texas Government Code, section 551.071, 551.087, 551.072, and do we expect to take any actions? Okay. And that time is 8:55. Thank y'all very much.
times, but I was like, I'll message it.
Yeah, we're good. All right, the time is 10:24 and we will reconvene back into open session.
Yeah, Mayor and Council, as a result of the open session, I'd ask council to consider a motion to instruct city manager to hire special legal counsel for legal services of Lloyd Gosling to file appropriate legal response to application for TECQ permit WQ 001-684-8001.
So moved.
Second.
First by Councilman Lightfoot, second by Franklin. Those in favor?
Franklin, aye.
Flannery, aye.
Miller, aye.
Lightfoot, aye.
Smith, aye.
That passes 5-0. Is there any other actions that we needed?
No, sir.
All right, entertain the motion at 10:25 to adjourn
Support.
and let's all go
Second.
home. Yep, and we got Miller and we got Franklin. And those in favor?
Franklin, aye.
Flannery, aye.
Miller, aye.
Lightfoot, aye.
Smith, aye.